rolling. What is going on, YouTube? We are just getting started with a quick Amazon FBA Q&A. We got the TikTok right here. Let's get it going. What are your profit margins on this account? 40% after everything. Do you ever deal with product authenticity issues with Amazon seller? I've dealt with almost every issue in the books with seller support. Hey, you need someone to run email for you? No, I do not. How do you start, like, with what product is good for? You got to do product research. There's going to be nobody who gives you just a product for free on the internet. Anybody who just gives you a free product, I can almost guarantee you it is not a good product. In fact, if anyone ever talks about a free product online, you guys send me over the data. I will analyze it and I will show you exactly why it is not a good product to sell. I have 20K saved up. I want to start Amazon FBA and I want to scale my business to 6 figures monthly. Nice. Well, in order to get to 6 figures monthly, brother, you got to start and you got to work on the fundamentals. That's how everybody gets there. Doesn't matter how much, the capital that you have does play a factor into it because you can invest more into the business. But I've seen people with 3K get there. I've seen people with 20K lose it all. So the capital doesn't matter. The fundamentals matters, you guys. Lee, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. By the way, listing with optimized turning out great. Have even paid extra to have an additional image made. Let's go, not goat, sheep. I forgot your actual username. Let's go, mem. Sorry, it just shows the emoji. But I absolutely love that. Taking advantage of the service that I created where you guys have access to the same graphic designers and team who creates my listings. How do you feel about the tariffs? Non-factor to me. It's really not a big deal. Danny, thank you so much for the follow. It's not a big deal because we're figuring out ways to, not pay China tariffs legally, of course. Nothing malicious or anything, but we're just going to be switching manufacturing. And did you guys just see what JD Vance just came out and said? I think it was today. I think that's why the markets are kind of taking a positive turn today. But they have already announced, nothing is set in stone, nothing is signed, but they announced that they came to terms with India. And so the Indian president or whatever, prime minister, whatever they have over there, and JD Vance said that they came to an agreement and that they should, iron out the details with India, which is going to be huge because India and Pakistan are probably going to be the two biggest manufacturing hubs outside of China. If we come to a deal with India and then all of a sudden China is kind of out of the picture, that's going to be interesting. Also, I was researching, and you guys can go look this up for yourselves. It's hard. You can't look at like CNN, Fox News, none of the mainstream. I would actually use AI to find this information. But because I was researching it and then I had to fact check it, the media makes it seem like America, as in we, are hurting a lot more from these tariffs than China is. There is a whole province in China, that is a hub for manufacturing. And they are getting ready to pause operations. They are getting ready to send a bunch of workers home because they do not have the same business going in as they did pre-tariffs. So I think that it is going to be just fine long term. If you think about starting Amazon in the UK, I would start in the US even if you live in the UK. Do you sell courses? I have a mentorship. It's so much more than just a course. What up, MD in the YouTube live. Also, y'all, remember in 50 minutes, we are going to be having a live Amazon FBA training. That is going to be at 8 p.m., aka 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 7 p.m. Central Time. Sorry for all of you overseas people. I don't know your time zones. But Make sure you guys go reserve your spot in the TikTok bio. If for some reason you can't see it in the TikTok bio, go check the IG bio, and you guys will be able to go lock in your spots. This may be the only webinar I do for a while. I had done them for a bit. Is your FBA training program weekly? It's lifetime access, bro. The training that I'm doing right now, it's a one-time thing. I used to do them, every month or something, but I'm not really I go live every day and stuff. I don't necessarily need to do live trainings. But with the tariffs and the landscape of everything now, I decided, you know what, let's do another training. Let's talk about the tariffs. I think it will be helpful for a lot of people. The amount of people that I see who are fear-mongering, who are saying that Amazon is not going to be sustainable because of the tariffs, I think that's nonsense personally. So we are here to set the record straight today. Let's get it. Is FBA better than FBM? Yes, 10 times out of 10. How do you get your high quality pictures, listings for your items, descriptions? I get them through a team that I created, AMZ Masterclass Optimized. Marie, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. And everybody in the live vibing, asking questions. Let's get it going. What up, what up? How long you been doing FBA for? A little over 6 years now. I just got a good mark in savings and I'm ready to start FBA. What is the best way to do it? With the tariffs now. Same fundamentals as before. The fundamentals haven't changed, y'all. Where you go get your products has changed. The beauty of it is China's not the only country that manufactures products in the world. You have Indonesia, you have Thailand, you have South Korea, you have Vietnam, you have Cambodia, you have Pakistan, you have India. I still wouldn't even come to the US for most products, but you have all these other countries who can produce most other products. Is it going to be a little more difficult than just going on Alibaba, finding a Chinese manufacturer, which is going to be the most prominent or dominant manufacturer there? Yes, you'll have to take some extra steps. Does it mean that people aren't going to be able to get products in other countries? No. Good starting budget, 3K USD. Kabingo, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. Bro, my shipment is almost done. Do you think I should ship it out in about a week or wait for more info? It really depends, man. Talk to your manufacturer, talk to your freight forwarder, see what kind of fees you would be paying. And then you're going to have to, once you figure that out, you're going to have to decide whether it makes sense for you to order right now. How long did you do FBM? I have never done FBM. What photography services do you use other than your program? None. None. I only use that. Yeah, that's what I mean. The difficulty getting it into it compared to before as a fresh FBA user. Again, like you're talking a few extra steps. Is a few extra steps making something that much more difficult, right? If you have to add 3 extra ingredients to the cake, does that mean it's impossible to bake the cake anymore? No. Couple extra steps, a little bit of extra work. And on the other end, you still have the same recipe to bake a delicious, beautiful cake. So same thing here. How's FBA business going with the tariffs? It's funny how people think like they did something here. Brother, my business is increasing month over month with the tariffs. In fact, it's going amazingly. So appreciate the hater vibes and thinking like, oh, I got you. Have fun at your 9 to 5. Tell your boss I said hi. But Amazon FBA is doing great, brother. Thank God. Yeah, profits are still going up. My profits have not been affected by the tariffs yet. But like I said, tell your boss that I said hi and enjoy that $20 an hour life, my boy. Do you recommend FBM for beginners? I do not. I do not. Keyword yet. I love how people think like it's going to affect us. Brother, our margins are going to go up. Our competition is going to go down. We get these products manufactured in the US. So I know you think you did something there, but 0% tariffs here. All of our other accounts switching manufacturing to other countries. So appreciate the hater vibes, but that kind of vibe is what keeps you at a 9 to 5, investing into your 401k. You'll retire at 60, live off your 401k. It won't be enough because you miscalculated how much you actually need for retirement. You'll be 70, probably in an interesting situation. If you have kids, then cool. Hopefully your kids were successful enough to be able to help you out. If not, it's going to be a really tough life, brother. I do pray that you get you switch your mentality and start to look at things in a more positive light. You could tell it's more of a glass half empty vibe rather than a glass half full vibe. But it's okay. Let's see. Do we have any of the mentorship students in here? I don't think so. I know Lost is in here. Oh yeah, we do. Saloom, you're in here, brother. One of the mentorship students. Did you get scammed, bro? Can you tell everybody about how much I scammed you and took your money and all of that stuff? I think the people would love to know how I got a one-up on you. No, brother, you got to give the people what they want. You got to tell them how much I did you dirty. I took your money. I ghosted you. We never spoke again. That's the reason why you're in my lives. After spending money. We're going to actually, right after this why, I'm going to mute you so that you can sit in the live like a good little boy. But everybody in this live knows what's up. You think that you're doing something or convincing anybody otherwise, but you're really just helping me prove my point a little bit more. Let's show something here. I wish I joined sooner. I would have been so much further instead of just sticking to AA. Such a narrow-minded mentality. That's what I'm saying. He thinks that he's doing something, but everybody in the live looks and is like, oh, who's the buster? Luke Basha or user 53274 on TikTok? And it's just, I give it attention because, brother, it's my live. It gives me views. It gives me credibility. It gives me followers. It does nothing beneficial to you. It does all the beneficial things for me. But you're right. Something tells me that you're one of the guys who values a college professor who's never been in business, never started a business. Kids go $90,000 into debt to learn about business from someone who's never started a business. But then when you see let's look at year to date first. You see somebody on the internet doing something and couldn't picture somebody successful going and taking the time out to teach other people, right? Because you could never do that. A, you can't ever picture yourself being successful. And B, you could never picture yourself being successful, let alone helping other people. Little newsflash, I learned how to sell on Amazon from my cousins who at the time were 6, almost 7-figure sellers. Now they're well beyond 7-figure sellers. They took time out of my day and taught me or out of their day and taught me how to sell on Amazon. And so your small mentality thinks that nobody successful is going to teach other people. Brother, that's how I learned. That's how my friends who sell on Amazon learned. I have friends who are currently doing 10, 20, 30K a month, like personal friends of mine who I put onto Amazon FBA. That is how you learn a business model that you've never gone into before. Somebody teaches you, even if you go learn online, right? If you go learn online, who's teaching you? Somebody else. If you go learn from a mentor, who's teaching you? Somebody else. But yeah, like I said, those comments just significantly benefited me in my life and made you look silly. So God bless you, brother. Should I move relevant high ACOS keywords from broad into exact and add as negative into broad? No, you shouldn't add anything as negative that's irrelevant into broad, even if they're in a separate exact campaign. All your campaigns are going to work differently, as well as there's multiple different placements on Amazon. How much cost is needed for a beginner to start FBA business? $3K USD for the business model that I do. Let's go. When I'm starting and it asks what kind of business, I have to put individual. If you don't have an LLC, yes. How much the mentorship? If you have any questions about the program, y'all, hop on a call with my team and they will be able to answer any questions about it. Finding wholesale print, I breakthrough this week. Nice. Use ChatGPT. How many products do you get in a month? We don't launch products monthly. We launch products yearly. Dropped a mill on your head. Lock in, dudes. Save up for the cars in your profile picture. Let's go, Avenir. I love that comment. Please, I don't want any more competition. Don't convince them. I mean, the beauty of it is like I've been selling on Amazon for 6+ years. I've been making content about Amazon for maybe 2-3 years. And in that amount of time, there's not been somebody who's like, for example, this account, there has never been anybody in the 3 years who's been like, hey, Luke, I'm going to go launch these types of products. If they did, by all means, there's enough pie to go around for everyone. But reason I don't share the products that I sell, and the world is abundant. There's thousands of different products. Well, I answered that. Furkan, I'd say like Fiverr, but I don't use Fiverr designers anymore. Also, I think it's very funny because this guy's just running up my algorithm. I was going to mute him, but let's let him keep talking. You guys can have a conversation with him. I always get in trouble finding items to sell. I don't know what you mean by that. By getting in trouble. Private label, yes. When I'm starting and it asks what kind of business, I answered that. What's the best? I like private label. What country do you recommend moving manufacturing if it's in China currently? You'll find manufacturing in other countries. You'll find manufacturing in other countries like India, Pakistan, Thailand. Sorry, I lost my place. PI, yeah, for sure, bro. Bro, teach me, please. I mean, brother, that's what these lives are about. That's what the videos are about. The information is here. Can we use your listing creation team for now? Yes, it is going to be closed down to the public at some point this year, but yes, you can. People can't launch those products, right? Because they don't currently meet the criteria as they once did. Yeah, that's correct. The average reviews here is like 11K now. Yearly, you launch, for example, 10 products on the 1st of January. No, like throughout the year, right? So last year we launched like 5 or 6 products throughout the year. You come up with your own products. I don't invent products, but yes, based on product research, being able to stand out, differentiate from the competition. If your account is suspended, then can you open up another account? You wouldn't want to open up another account. You would want to try to get that account back. Avenir, at the end of the day, it was just fun to troll, but the point is never to try and convince people of anything. It's like those who will believe, those who will not will not. I've met my fair share of people, and listen, it's not about convincing you that this is the best business or this is the best business or whatever, but you could just tell by people's mentality, and I've seen my fair share of people with that mentality. Let me sit down and have a conversation with you for 20 minutes, and I bet you I guess your income level. It's just pretty funny. Yeah, 100%. Luke, I'm struggling with sales. Any advice? How many reviews do you have, bro? Need help with PPC big time. A few things on that. I have lots of videos on it, but if you guys wanted the most in-depth guide on Amazon PPC ads out there, I've literally not had one person tell me otherwise. Check out the AMZ Masterclass Mentorship Program in the TikTok bio, where in there we have the PPC Masterclass. How can I get in touch with your listing creation team? AMZ Masterclass optimize.com. Oh, I was already thinking about that. Even would be possible. If what would be possible? It's just pretty funny. I'll do that soon, Lost. Not yet. Thank you so much for the follow. I have 19 reviews. Get those reviews up, bro. You might have to dial in your PPC ad strategy. You got to see what your conversion rate is, because if your average conversion, I can't drop it in the chat, brother, but maybe somebody else can. Lost, can you maybe do that? The AMZ. Let me double check. Yeah, AMZ Masterclass optimize.com. I can't put it in the chat because I'll get flagged. I have 19. Okay, so yeah, test where your conversion is, because if you have like a 5% conversion or like a 10% conversion, then 10% is decent. But if you have below a 10% conversion and you're spending money on PPC, then it's going to be kind of a rough go. Bella, thank you for sharing the live. Sounds like you have a plan. Yes, I do. How long does it take to watch all the mentorship videos? It goes at your own pace. There's been people who can knock it out in a weekend. There's been people where it's a couple weeks, some people in a week. Really depends on how much time you dedicate to it. The main curriculum is a little over 20 something hours. It's been a minute since I calculated it. Last time I calculated it, it was about 20 hours or more of content. And then we have the group call recordings, which that's like 100 plus hours. But in terms of the main curriculum, you get through that, I'd say no more than like 2 weeks, as long as you're dedicating some time to it. I usually recommend people going through the entire program all the way through first, and then you go back and rewatch it and you follow the steps. So get a gauge on the full situation and strategy, and then from there, go and step by step follow the guide. Also, remember 30 minutes, we're going to have the live training on how to sell on Amazon. Make sure you guys go reserve your spot. Bibi, I only speak English, sorry. PPC is eating all my profits, but I don't get sales without it. That is because, okay, so two things, Boy and Honda. I was talking about this the other live, guys. This is the part where new Amazon sellers, there's the biggest disconnect. Like post-launch, which is after you pick your product and stuff, this is the biggest reason why people fail. Let me ask Boy and Honda, are your PPC ads getting clicks? Because you're not losing money from advertising, Boy. I'll explain. I already know the answer to this, but I just want to see it typed out on screen. Are both of you getting clicks from your ads? Not sales. Are you getting clicks? Clicks, but no orders. Beautiful. Yes, I'm getting clicks. Beautiful. Both of your ads are doing their job. You're like, what? But I'm not getting sales. How are they doing their job? PPC is not a sales machine. It is a traffic machine. So I'm driving traffic to my listing. I'm not driving sales to my listing. Okay? So what is driving the sales? It's your product and your product listing. Product and product listing. So if I'm driving down the highway, I see a billboard for McDonald's, and I'm like, Bob's Crab Shack. I see a sign for Bob's Crab Shack, and I'm like, I'm going to pull off the side of the road. I'm going to go there. I pull up to the restaurant. I look at it. It looks grimy. It looks dirty. I get outside. They have a menu out there. I look at the menu. It looks terrible food. I see pictures. The pictures look not good. I'm like, oh, I don't want to eat here. I get back in my car and I head somewhere else. Whose fault is it that I didn't eat at the restaurant? Was it the billboard's fault? Or was it the restaurant's fault? Can everybody, let's see it in the chat. I want interaction here. Whose fault is it in this scenario that I didn't eat at the restaurant? Was it the billboard's fault or was it the restaurant? We will wait until we get the answer. So there we go, Boy. I'm glad that you answered that. Honda, I'm glad that you answered that. It was the restaurant's fault. So in this scenario, your Amazon PPC ads are the billboard and the restaurant is your product listing. So in both of your guys' scenarios, you need to dial in your conversion and your listing. So that's going to be reviews. That's going to be price. It's going to be the product itself, which you can't change post-launch. But it's also your image, your main image, your title, your bullet points, your description, your infographics. A customer is coming onto, you guys have the data. The customer is coming onto your product listing. Let's say this is your product. They look at it. They're like, I don't want to buy this. I want to buy somebody else's. So that is the issue that you're both encountering. Now, the beauty of Amazon is that if you have a low conversion rate, you are not entitled or stuck with that low conversion rate. You can optimize it. How do we do that? Again, we optimize our main image. Like for me, I rank it. Depending on your reviews, I would usually rank it reviews number 1, main image number 2, infographics number 3, A+ content, bullet points, description. So you guys need to optimize that, and you need to test. Like the biggest companies in the world that we all know and love, or maybe love, but we all know: Nike, Adidas, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, McDonald's, Netflix. All of these companies will put out a product and they test. But then Amazon sellers, they put out a product, one rendition, one version, first draft. It's all said and done. Where are my millions? But then the $1 million companies and the $1 billion companies put something out. They get data, they test. They switch it out. They get data, they test. They switch it out. They get data, they test. And that's what makes them so successful. But then small businesses do the complete opposite thing of what the successful businesses are doing and what's making them successful. So when I launch my product, more often than not, The first version of I could think that the listing is great, but there's an expression that I use. The market is the market is the market, meaning I don't decide what the market likes. I don't decide what the market buys. The market decides what they like and what they buy. So if I think that my main images are great, my listing looks great, they're fully optimized, everybody has to buy it. But then all of a sudden, people are buying my competitors versus mine. And then I look at the competitors, I'm like, okay, what are they doing that I'm not doing? And then I make that change. And then all of a sudden you see sales start to pick up. It's happened with almost, I want to say like at least 50% of products that I've launched, where you launch it, it's not where you want it to be, and you have to optimize it. It doesn't, the budget matters and doesn't matter, because every time I start, and I know I skipped some questions, I'm going to go back and look at everyone's, but the budget does and doesn't matter, because it doesn't, because if I have $100 budget versus a $50 budget, if I'm not converting with $50, I could double my ad spend, and that's not going to change my conversion. Conversion has nothing to do with the budget. The only time budget may matter is, let's say you have a 10% conversion. You have one keyword in a campaign. It has a $2 cost per click. That would mean 10 clicks at a 10% conversion for one sale. But if every day you're only able to get 3 clicks or 4 clicks because your budget and cost per click is so low, that's when you can run into some issues there. But I always start conservatively. I never start with big budgets. I never go super crazy on the cost per clicks. I start conservatively. What margin should we look at to work on per product? 30%. All right, let's go back. I know I skipped some. And also, if you guys wanted the most in-depth guide on PPC ads in existence on the internet, be sure to check out the AMZ Masterclass Mentorship program, where inside I have the PPC Masterclass. I say this so confidently, it is more in-depth than anything that you will find on YouTube. You can find a full crash course on YouTube for PPC. You could watch my videos. You could watch everybody else's videos. The PPC Masterclass is still the most in-depth guide on Amazon ads. I say that confidently. In fact, go find one of my mentorship students who says that it is not the most in-depth guide on Amazon PPC ads. Are you able to drive traffic to your Amazon page through Google Shopping? Yes, you can, but the best way is going to be through Amazon PPC. You can A/B test with different main images, for example. Yes, always test, always test. I'm always testing. Literally on the brand new product that we launched, we're already testing new things. Always, 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 always test. Testing is the name of the game. If one keyword has high ACoS on search term report, do I need to move it to exact? No, I already answered that. No, no, no. Guys, you guys got to go watch my PPC videos on TikTok and YouTube. If you guys aren't able to get the masterclass, of course, because I know that's not available for everybody. There is a method to the madness in PPC, and there's also a lot of bad information on PPC out there. I say that because I've watched nearly every piece of content on PPC ads because I'm obsessed with it. There's people saying if you're gonna add a keyword from your search term report into exact, add it as a negative. Terrible advice. There's people who say have multiple ad groups in one campaign. Terrible advice. There's people who say as a standard have multiple products in one campaign. Terrible advice. There's people who say throw more than 5 keywords into a campaign. Terrible advice. There's people who are telling you to set up product targeting campaigns where you have no leverage against your competitors. Terrible advice. There's a lot of bad advice that comes out with PPC. Boyd, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. Gio, it depends if you have an LLC or you're a sole proprietor. Can we import Amazon products to Shopify store to increase Amazon sales? No. It doesn't work like that. You can use your Amazon inventory to fulfill Shopify orders, but it's not going to like increase your Amazon sales. Bro, which one is better, wholesale or private label? Private label, without a shadow of a doubt. Luke is the real OG. I appreciate that action. God bless. Also, it was a keyword that came from broad that I found in search term. It's eating my profit. If it's irrelevant, then if it's relevant, I don't like adding it as a negative. Like if I have a water bottle, an insulated water bottle or a metal water bottle, and that's the search term in my search term report, and it's eating up budget, I don't necessarily want to add that as a negative because I need to convert on that keyword. So maybe you could, pump the brakes on it until you optimize your conversion, but you guys don't want to negate things that are relevant that you need to rank on. That's like putting a Band-Aid on a wound that does not, it calls for stitches, not a Band-Aid. It's really not helping in the way that you would think. Drop shipping is against Amazon's terms of service. Thanks a lot for your help and advice. I really appreciate it, of course. How much money do we need to start private label? I would say $3,000 USD minimum, but that's for everything, your product, shipping, and all that. The conversion are good, just the CPC is high on it. Then adjust your bids. Like, will you get clicks on a lower cost per click? Because if you are, then that, maybe optimize your bids there, not too significantly either. Let's go. Also, y'all remember 18 minutes is the live training. I just saw somebody's comment that I accidentally missed saying that they were excited for the training today. I am too. It is going to be a good one. It's been a while since we've done it. I think the last one we did was in February. I've submitted form on your Instagram. Looking forward to work with you. Did you book a call with the team, Mike? Do tariffs affect e-commerce market? Yes. We got training today. How do I sign up? In the TikTok bio, you guys. In the TikTok bio. How do we manage taxes? Hire a CPA? No, just submitted form. So, Mike, if you just submitted a form and you didn't get on book a call with my team, you have to book a call with my team to be able to speak with the team. So make sure you lock that in. Go through the process. Make sure that you qualified for the program. There is a qualification process. If you didn't see the calendar to book a call with my team at the end of the application, then you did not qualify. If you did see the calendar, but you did not book a call with the team, then you have not engaged with the team yet. So if you want to be in contact with them, be sure to lock that in. Let's get it. Make sure you guys go lock in that spot. We'll stay on live for a bit more, answer any questions that you guys may have. Yassine, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. And thank you for sharing the live. Let's get it. I'm just going to make sure that we're all set up while we're waiting for the training. Very excited. I'm telling you, if I see anybody in this live who does not join the training, and then tomorrow or the next day or this week, I see somebody one of those same people ask, how do I sell on Amazon? I'm going to crash out. No, I'm just kidding. What about drop shipping? I don't do drop shipping, and you can't do drop shipping on Amazon. It's against their terms of service. That is how you get your account vanished. How do you have time to do all the packing and shipping every day? That's the beauty of what I do, Beto. I don't touch my products. I don't store my products. I don't ship my products. I don't pack my products. I don't see my products. I see my sample. I see my inspection report. And then we're off to the races. I think you should just type in the state, follow the steps. Let's go. I only speak English, bro. Brother, it's not the way I look at life. I don't even want to answer that question. This is an Amazon FBA live. This is not a political live. And the president, let me just say this. The president, as we see with the tariffs, can affect business. Like now we have to manage the tariffs and all that, but it's not going to affect me in the way that people think. It could be Biden, it could be Kamala, it could be Trump, it could be Donald Duck, it could be Mickey Mouse. It doesn't matter. Exactly, Luis. The president will change in 4 years. It's one of those things where, again, little policies do affect people. Like I know that I like that word, in it. I'm assuming you're from the UK. Anyways, yes. So that is what I'm not disagreeing with you in that aspect. Like buying from China, certain policies are going to affect it and all this. But I started my business under Trump's first presidency and I won. I continued my business during Biden's presidency and I won. And God willing, during Trump's next presidency or current presidency, we will continue to win. God's plan. So you just have to learn, just like everything in business, you do have to learn to navigate things. Like we're going to have to learn to navigate these tariffs. But it's not like in the way that you may have asked. So you essentially have distributor doing everything. Do you teach how to negotiate contracts? I teach everything from A to Z, from not knowing anything about Amazon to having a product live on Amazon to managing to scaling to everything. Yam, thank you so much for the follow. You win, but is the profit the same or as before or lower? Well, number one, we haven't got hit with any tariffs because we haven't placed any orders when the tariffs were implemented. So that's number one. Number two, we're switching manufacturing to other countries. And it was just announced today. A deal hasn't been officially signed, but it was just announced today that they're already going to come to an agreement with India, one of the top 5 largest manufacturing hubs in the US. So China gets hit with tariffs. India opens up, maybe 10% on India. We don't know. So I'm just speculating here, but maybe 10% on India, maybe 20, maybe 0. We don't know yet. Probably around that range. And now, okay, I take a 20% hit on my cost of goods. I increase my price by $1 and we're good to go. You know what I mean? Or a couple bucks, depends on the product, depends on the cost of goods that I'm paying. But a lot of our products are under $20 cost of goods. You get hit with 20%, you're talking a couple bucks, you smack it up a couple bucks and you're good to go. What are your top marketing strategies? Amazon PPC ads and building a brand on social media. To be honest, I think Trump will just make a deal with China soon and then everything will be back to normal. Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, bro. But even then, even if China opens back up, I think that we're still going to switch manufacturing or at least open up manufacturing to other countries. As of now, conversion is 6%. You got to get it up, brother. Reviews and optimize your listing. User PG, thank you so much for the follow. I'm not most people, though. I'm trying. You're funny, dog. Yeah, and at the end of the day, kind of like with Luis, it's the consensus from everybody. So you think that if we move China suppliers, next is India, Thailand, Vietnam. Like you got to think, even if Vietnam's 40-something% stays, 40% is a lot more sustainable than 145%. So we would still switch manufacturing, take the 40-something% hit rather than the 140% hit. There's a lot of other countries to manufacture products in. In fact, we're going to be going over that in the training in 11 minutes. So y'all make sure that you go lock in your spot. Let's see if we had any people register while we were on live. Nice, but those countries have same low prices as China. Yes, they're third world countries too, my friend. Let's go, Luis, Americas, Kari, Blinda, Corey, Caddy. I don't know if all of you are still in the live, but I do see that all of you just signed up for the training while we were on live. Can't wait to see you all there. Let's get it. We're going to be going over PPC as well. Sorry, yes, you're right. I wasn't referring to China. Maybe I did accidentally. I was referring to the others as third world. So yeah, sorry. Yeah, definitely not a third world country. Where to find India suppliers? Lock in on the training, y'all. We're going to be going over that in the training, which I actually think that I'm going to head out for right now. So, in case you guys don't want to go to the training and you want to just skip to having the most in-depth guide on Amazon, FBA private label, and to have me as your mentor, be sure to check out the AMZ Masterclass Mentorship Program. You guys can sign up for the free training in the TikTok bio. Yes, it is free. I think Europe wins in this situation nowadays. Europe can never beat America. The training, yeah, it's in the TikTok bio. Let's go. So I hope to see y'all there. But like I said, if you did want to skip the training and just have the most in-depth guide, all of my strategies, I already do post on IG, bro. You got to just follow me. All of my strategies, my in-depth guides, access to the freight forwarder that I created, access to product selection, where based on the criteria that I use and teach, I will select your product for you. Access to the listing creation service I created, access to the inspection service I created, access to the accounting service that I created, a full ecosystem for Amazon sellers, a product tracking tool that I created. Be sure to check out the AMZ Masterclass Mentorship Program in the TikTok bio. My IG is @officiallukeBasha. God bless you all, and I will see you hopefully in the training or tomorrow.